Hi, I'm ThaMango, and today I'm going to be building some nostalgic locations from TV shows. There's one twist though. I'm doing it all from memory. I haven't seen some of these locations in a very long time, so some of them might end up looking a bit odd. I've put a bunch of locations onto this wheel, and we're going to spin it 3 times. The first build it lands on, I'll build in 10 minutes, the second build 30 minutes, and the last one I'll have an hour to build. Let's spin the wheel. Okay, I'm pretty good with that. I don't mind building the Spongebob house. I actually feel like this is the build that I remember the most because I recently actually built it in a building challenge where I built a house every single day. So I should be pretty good to recreate it. Now I'm going to start the timer right away and just get straight to the build so that I don't have too long to try and figure out what I'm making. So let me quickly just set the timer. And now we got 10 minutes to build the Spongebob house. I think last time I built this, I used honeycomb because it has that grid texture like a pineapple. But I'm gonna use orange concrete, I think, just to mix things up. And his house is pretty straightforward, I think, right? It's just a pineapple with a door and a couple of windows built in and a pathway that leads up. So this should be quite easy to do. My main worry, I think, is just the time. But I'm gonna start by just building up the base of the pineapple. And I think I've already made it way too small, but oh well. And now as we build up, I'm just gonna kind of narrow it in a bit so it has a nicer shape to it. I think I've already messed up because I think it's meant to be more sunk into the ground, but I already can't remember. But I think that looks okay. I think the shaping could be a bit better at the top. I'm gonna leave it like that, I think. And if my memory is correct, there's then leaves that come out. And I can't really remember if they stick up and curve or if they just kind of come straight out. So I might just build whatever looks the best and assume that that's how it actually looks. And I'm going to use azalea leaves. So let's just think like that maybe. I don't know if it has the curve, but I'm just going to go with it and hope that it looks okay. That already might be way too big as well. I really hope that no one's clicked on this video expecting the builds to actually be good, because I think they're only going to get worse and worse from here. And I've already messed this up as well. This isn't symmetrical. Oh, this is so difficult. It probably doesn't help either that I'm recording this at like 1 AM in the morning. I don't know why, I just randomly decided that it'd be fun to make this. Oh, we've only got 5 minutes. I'm definitely not going to be able to do interior in that time. Okay, I really don't like how that looks, but I'm gonna just leave it there because I need to add the door. And I'm gonna use copper. I'm pretty sure I used copper last time I built this. And then I'm also gonna use ice, I think, for the windows because we're not building anything behind them. And I'm pretty sure there's a door here and then a window here maybe and a window here, I think. And then there's a chimney, isn't there, that comes out the side. So if I can get that much done at least, should be okay. And I don't have loads of time, so I'm just gonna keep it very basic and go with a bamboo door maybe. That looks nice. And then like that. Oh, people are going to really hate me in the comments if I get this ridiculously wrong. And then I think there's one over here, but that could be incorrect. I don't know if there's a second window now. I don't know if I've just built it really bad, but I'm going to remove it because I don't know. It looks bad, so I'm going to assume it's not there. But I am going to really quickly add in the chimney because we got 3 minutes left. Oh, this is so bad. But I want to finish by just adding in maybe some flowers, but also a path that leads up to it. And I seem to remember that this is like blue kind of stones. So I'm going to use, I think, a mix of ores and prismarine should be fine. Yeah, if we just do it like this, like it's made up of different rocks. And then we can mix some in here. I think it's not a straight, like even path. I think it kind of overspills like that. And we could add a couple of rocks using buttons. And then in our last minute, I think I'm just going to add some coral around the edges. But I'm just going to add a couple pieces around it, which should help tie it together. And I got 10 seconds left. Do I have time to? I'm going to use a tiny bit of word edit just to replace the grass with sand. I don't want to use loads of word edit this video, but I think that's okay. So let's just replace 2 with sand. And then I think that I'm going to call it there. And that does not look very good. That looks awful. Before I get up the image, I think this is the best bit, the pathway. I like that, but I definitely should have used a different block for this. But you can definitely tell it's his house, even if it looks bad. So let me quickly pull up an image and then I can compare how it actually looks to the real thing. Okay, so let me search for SpongeBob's house. Ah, I was right. There is a window down here. But it did look bad when I built it, to be fair, but I think that's because I made it way too thick. But this window's kind of correct at least. What I should have used is a warped door. That would have looked, let me quickly just have a look. Yeah, that would have looked a lot better, but it is what it is. Glad that we got the chimney, and these leaves are definitely wrong. But all in all, I don't think it's awful, but I don't think it's good either. I definitely think we can do better than this. So I'm very glad that we have more time next. But moving back to the wheel, I now need to pick a build that we can do with our 30 minutes. Okay, this is probably the worst thing that it could have landed on. I haven't seen Gravity Falls in like 10 years. So this one's going to be really, really difficult. And I'm going to warn you now, this is going to look nothing like the Mystery Shack. And let's just move over here to a new plot. This should be fine right here. And in 3, 2, 1. And I have no clue what I'm doing. I think it's just kind of like a wooden shack, if I'm correct. And I'm just going to build it like I would a wooden shack and hope that it looks similar when I'm done. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. I'm pretty sure it's like overran, like it looks quite overgrown. So I should try and mix in some ores and stuff to give it that feel. But let's just build our foundation. I'm thinking we can do a brick base and then we'll use wood as it goes up. And then I seem to remember the main like feature is it has a really arched roof with like a sign on it. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure there's a bit that juts out over here. So let's just, I think it's equally in the center, but I could be wrong. But let's just, I don't know how long it is though. I think it's not too long, maybe like that. Oh, I have no clue what I'm doing. And then let's add in some cobblestone around here. And I'm gonna mix in some mossy cobblestone too, just to give it that old look. Like, I can barely remember any of the storyline of Gravity Falls, but I'm pretty sure this is like one of those scam buildings where they put in like fake tourist attractions and it's meant to look quite overgrown and quite like gross, I guess. Like something just lost in the middle of the forest. For now, I'm just gonna fill in all of this with some spruce and then I can work on adding details at the end. Yeah, I'd love to know in the comments what TV shows you guys grew up watching, because I didn't actually watch too much Gravity Falls. I feel like it was still new when I was growing up. But yeah, if I do a part 2 of this, I'd love to hear your suggestions of places I could put on the wheel. But with that filled in, I think it needs to be a lot taller. I don't know if it's just 1 level or if it kind of goes up for 2. I think it's 2 stories tall though, so I'm just gonna build this bit a bit taller and go around and just kind of build it out a bit, and then I'm gonna build the next floor slightly indented outwards, I think. Kind of like a Viking house. You know how the second floor normally juts out a bit wider than the first. And then we'll obviously need things like windows. I have no clue what the windows would look like on this, but we'll do those at the end. I think that's just going to be guessing work, really. This is taking so long. The issue is definitely just that I went too big. If I made this smaller, this wouldn't be an issue. And then I think now is a good time to move on to the roof. And I definitely want to use deep slate. I'm pretty sure deep slate is the right kind of material. Or would it be tiles? I could use deep slate tiles, or I might try and use a mixture. I could probably texture it. And the roof, I don't think it's a straight line kind of thing. I think it's a bit, is it? I can't remember if it's like a straight line up, triangle shape, or if it's curved. That's annoying me. That's gonna completely ruin the build if I get this wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a straight line actually. So if I go like this, I guess if it looks bad, I can redo it. I think it would be like this. I think that's correct. It might even be more slanted, but I don't have time. I don't know. Maybe the roof like starts all the way down here. I don't think so though. I think it would start about here. And it might be a bit taller than that. Maybe, this is difficult. I think I might try 3 blocks at a time for the gradient. That's way too tall, right? Is that too tall? I can't tell. I'm gonna go back to 2. I think 2 makes more sense, and I've probably not even got time to build it that tall. Okay, that looks fine. Oh, that's not tall enough though. That's definitely not tall enough. Oh well, I don't have time to fix it. It is what it is. I'm starting to think that the building is mostly just roof. I'm pretty sure the roof starts like down here now. But maybe I'm just double guessing myself. But I don't even have time to restart, so I don't know why I'm stressing so much over this. And I'd love to add a gradient in this, but I don't know if there's gonna be time. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like splotches of like grass and stuff in the roof, like moss and stuff, but I think that's gonna be a problem. But I definitely need patches of grass. I'm not gonna be able to add as many as I probably should add, but I want some patches of grass at least, just because I think that's quite important for it to look like the mystery shack. And I'm definitely not going to have time to add a gradient because I've literally got 7 minutes. Kind of like that. I think that's okay. I want to add at least a little bit of texturing. So I'm going to mix some of this in near the moss, just to make it look a bit more aged. I don't have time to be doing this, but I'm thinking it might help the build look a lot better. So it's probably worth doing. But I'm realizing I might not even be able to finish this one in time. And then I'm just going to fill this in with the same wood as before, which might not be correct, but oh well. I should take a note from Grian probably and just leave the back, but I'm gonna try and get it done as well. And with that, I think I should quickly move on to this side bit. There's loads of detailing I need to add, but I think as long as I get the main shape done, then at least if I don't finish it all, I've at least made a good attempt. So let's build it up here. I think this is just one floor on the side, and this is our final 4 minutes. So I'm just gonna quickly build this up like we did earlier with the rest. And then we can really quickly add our roof on. And then if I have time, I'd love to do some detailing. So let's go here with this. And because of time, I'm literally just going to leave the back. I don't have time to finish that. I'm just going to try and make it look good from the front, because I just want to get it done. But let's quickly add some more moss because we did it earlier. We got to add some here. I don't know if there's a chimney. I feel like there should be a chimney, but I don't know where it would go. But I know for a fact that there's letters up here, right? It says Mystery Shack. And I think it's on like a big board. Oh yeah, this is coming to my mind now. We need to make, in 3 minutes, we need to really quickly make a board up here, which I don't think is going to be enough time, especially to add letters to it. I'm pretty sure it says Mystery Shack, and one of the letters is like falling off, if I remember correctly. I think it might be like the C or the K. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have time to make the letters look good. Slabs work. I can't even fit the text. I don't have time for this. I don't have time. I gotta restart this. I'm gonna try and quickly condense the letters down a bit. Right, you can kind of tell that says mystery maybe. I don't know. We can try and add some shaping. And then I'm gonna leave the S. I think the S is maybe like fallen. So kind of add an imprint where the letter was, like that. And then it would just be hack. Oh, that looks awful. And then I think the S is like on the roof, like hanging off it or something. So we'll do that, maybe. And then really quickly, in our remaining time, I just want to add, I'm pretty sure there's a big window at the front. So I'm not going to be able to make it look good. I can't detail it. I can't add any blocks behind it. So it's going to look like a big hole. I want to just really quickly add a window. Oh, that looks awful. And we can add some detailing. Just adding some depth with some stairs. And I've literally, in my last 30 seconds, just add some really quick depth. I'm only going to do the front at this point. And then I'm just going to add in some more windows. I don't know if these are correct, but I know that it definitely has to have more windows than it's got. And there's not even a front door. I don't know where the door would go. Let's quickly throw a door in over here. Oh, in this unfinished side. Definitely, I think the door would have been on the other side, but oh well. Got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I wish that I made it half the size. If I made this half the size, I could probably have focused on the detailing and added some trees. But with that being said, I feel like even though the sign looks awful, I feel like you can kind of tell what it's meant to be at least. But I should now probably Google what the actual thing looks like. I really messed up with this build. I got a couple of things right at least though, but I definitely should have had the roof start lower down. I think if I had the roof start about here, this might have looked quite decent. And I'm happy that I got a window in the top part here. That's correct at least, which is very surprising to me. And there is actually a door around here, but this, I completely forgot. This part right here is the gift shop, and then this is the actual mystery shack, which I probably should have remembered. This could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better. I'd probably give this one like a 2 out of 10. But now that we've built this in 30 minutes, I think we should move on to the 1 hour build. And because we got an hour, I'm going to make it smaller, but I'm going to try and build the whole thing, like the back of it as well this time. And hopefully some interior. So let's quickly spin the wheel and see what it lands on. Okay, our final build is going to be the Krusty Krab. Okay, back to Spongebob, which is good at least. But with that being said, I should probably just get straight into building. So let me set the timer and let's start building. And I know I said I wouldn't use welded it, but I am just going to set the floor to sand. And this time I'm gonna try and learn from where I went wrong before, and I'm gonna start by making a shape, and then we can fill it in once we figured it out. But I definitely think I'll be using spruce. Because if I'm correct, I believe the Krusty Krab is meant to be a crab trap. So it's kind of rectangular with like a curved roof. I know that much. So let's just get the general shape in. That's the right kind of size. And then it kind of curves like that. It might be a bit too wide. Sorry, too thin is my only worry right now. But I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Have I made that too low down? I might have made it too low down. But I'm just gonna roll with it, I think. And then we can get the roof in. I don't even know if I'm gonna need the full hour for this one. This one, it would have been great if I could have an hour for that one and 30 minutes for this one. That would have been so much better. But that is the issue with spinning a wheel. I think that's the right kind of shape, right? Yeah? Maybe? I don't know. But let's move on now to the walls. We can use, I think ice would be the best block for this. Yeah, that already looks a bit like the Krusty Krab, which is good. This video is really teaching me though, just how bad my memory is. Like, I've always known that I have a bad memory, but I should really remember more than I do right now. But I think we just fill these in all the way around the whole build. And I'm tempted to move this up more. I feel like this is too flat, right? But then I'm gonna have to rebuild the whole thing. But I mean, we've got plenty of time. I'm gonna just build it a bit taller. And then I think if I just extend it by 2 blocks for now, and then we can just quickly build the roof that we had before. But I'm gonna use some stripped spruce this time instead of just spruce planks. I think that'll look a bit more like it. There we go. I think the shaping looks okay. I feel like I'm missing some really important things though, and I don't know what. I feel like I should probably be using brown concrete. Yeah, that looks better, I think. Oh, we're gonna have so long though to do all the detailing. But with this build, I think with time, I'm gonna have loads of like details I'll suddenly remember that I can add. Especially with the inside. I definitely want to do interior. But for now, let's just get this roof really quickly finished up, like that. Oh, it looks wrong. I don't know what looks wrong about it though. I'm just gonna leave it for now though, because what I do know we need is netting. I'm pretty sure there's like nets that run around the outside, like an actual crab trap. Kind of like that, and then I think, if I'm correct, which I'm probably not, but I think they're gonna droop a bit like this, right? That looks correct, I think. But let me just replicate this around all the windows. Yeah, I think that's right. And then I think it kind of splits back like that. But I'm really feeling like I'm getting the roof wrong. But I don't know what I'm getting wrong about it. Is it glass? It might be glass. Oh well, I'm gonna leave it for now, and then if we figure out where I went wrong, then we can always adjust it. But like, the more I build, the more I'm worrying about the build. I don't think I ever like paid attention to what the sides of the building look like, so I'm just gonna build up some walls and then just fill it in with some glass again. Or sorry, some ice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I would build, so I'm just gonna assume that that's right. In fact, I'm trying to figure out, is there netting on the outside of the roof? Like this. Let's see how it looks, and if it looks right, then it might... Oh, I can't remember. Because it looks odd having it just be flat. I can't remember though if there's like a pattern on it. Or I could try adding a pattern with logs, maybe? I feel like there is a pattern on it, but I don't know what the pattern is. I think I might come back to the roof later. But the door would be over here, so I don't think I'm gonna add an actual door. I think I'm just gonna leave it open like this so you can walk in. And we should probably start by doing a floor. And also I wanna split it in half. I think while we do the floor, we can come up with a layout plan as well. Because obviously half of the Krusty Krab is for eating, and then the other half is the kitchen, and I think there's also an office over here for Mr. Krabs. This could be completely wrong, but I'm gonna go with it being a white wall. So let's just build this up over here. It could be spruce though. It could just be like the outside, but I'm just gonna guess that it's a white wall. And then I think it just flattens out. I don't know what's up here. I think there's stuff up here. I'm not sure. I think there's like some boats up here and like spare parts, like a wooden boat and some buoys and stuff and some life rings, but I might be wrong there. I really don't know. And then in the middle, when you walk in, is obviously where the desk is. So let's just mine out this area. And I think it's just like a... Oh, is it... I can't remember if it's like a wooden boat or if it's white. I think it might actually be white. So I'm going to go with some quartz. Like this, maybe. It can't be that tall because obviously you've got to be able to order over it. So I'm gonna reduce the size a bit. That's much smaller. I think that's more likely to be how big it is. So this is where Squidward puts the notes through for SpongeBob. I think it's just like a circular hole, if I'm correct. And then we need a door on either side. I think we'd use copper for the doors. I'm assuming it would be similar to the doors in SpongeBob's house, right? And we can even add a button on each one, just like a door handle. And then obviously the tables, I'm pretty sure the chairs are barrels. So that works perfectly. And I can't really build them to the correct scale because they take up loads of room. So I'm just gonna add like 1 or 2 tables, but that should be fine. And we'll put some extra chairs in the corner as well. And then for the tables, oh, should we use bamboo? I think they might be like a bamboo kind of material actually. Now that I've seen bamboo, I feel like more of the build should be bamboo. 1 minute. Should this, maybe the fences should be bamboo. Ah, that might look a lot better actually. Let me quickly switch this one out and see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks a lot more like the Krusty Krab. So I'm gonna, I think, switch out all of these fences to be bamboo. I'm really glad that I placed it down for the tables because I like the second I saw the bamboo, I realized that that's like the exact color that it would be in SpongeBob. Unless I'm just completely wrong. But that looks a lot more accurate, I think. Oh, this is gonna take so long to switch. But while we're out here, I might also just try and touch up the roof a bit. I think that all I gotta do is add some netting to the roof. I think that's where I went wrong. So let's just see what this looks like. It might be wrong though, but I think it looks better though. So I'm gonna assume that it's right. And now that I've done that, I think I'll use some bamboo gates maybe to join it up. I know that there's definitely texturing on the roof. I just don't know what it's meant to be. That doesn't look correct, but it does look more correct than it did before, I think. So I'm gonna keep it, but I don't think it's right. But I think it's righter than it was, but I don't know. And I'm just going for like a grid pattern up here. Kind of like it's netting once again. There's definitely way too much bamboo now, but I'm definitely gonna punch myself when I see what it actually looks like at the end. But let's move back inside and finish up the interior. So in here, I just wanna add some lights that are hanging down. And I'm just gonna put some lanterns on the end of the lights. Just like this. And then I think there's just like a bunch of chains as well hanging down, which aren't connected to anything. Kind of like that. This part could be completely wrong as well, but I think there's some rafters up here as well, which just help to hold the building together. What is, oh no, the ice is melting. Let me quickly get rid of the lights. Oh no. Is there a game rule to fix this? 1 minute. Game rule, random tick speed 0. I think that will fix it. And I'm gonna let myself use World Edit just this once. Again, at least. For the terrain, obviously, but also just to quickly get rid of the water. Have I got rid of it all? I think we're good. Okay, I think we're good. That seems correct, at least. And then up here, I swear there's stuff up here. I think, but yeah, we can have a small boat up here. And then I think there's like loads of netting up here. That could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's right. But what I do know is that there is a kitchen over here. So let's come over here and we could quickly build a wall that just divides Mr. Krab's office. And we'll just build it there. And then I'm just gonna add in some random kitchen-y stuff. I don't know exactly what it looks like in here, but I can probably just take a guess. So let's just add in a fridge. And then we can add in some taps over here. And then we can add in the main grilling station over here where the burgers are made with an induction fan. I think kind of like that looks okay. And then over here we can add just some more water buckets. Some more water cauldrons over here. And maybe some storage shelves using some barrels. I think that looks okay, right? We don't really need much more for the kitchen. Unless there's something, I feel like there's like barrels maybe. So I might just add some barrels of stuff at the back. I think that's okay. That should be fine for the kitchen. And then let's just quickly move into Mr. Krab's office. I seem to recall that he's kind of just got a chair right behind the door, like here. I'm assuming there's loads of money in here. That would make the most sense for Mr. Krabs, but I think we can just add some bookshelves. I know it's quite an enclosed office, if I'm correct. So I just want to make it look really enclosed. And then I'm going to do a spruce roof up here. Maybe we can add a small desk. I'm pretty sure he has a desk. That's going to have to do. But moving back out here, I'm pretty sure this is good. I think this is as accurate as I'm going to be able to get it, at least from my memory. But we can probably move outside and do some of the car park. I think we should use diorite, maybe? I don't know exactly what it looks like. I think it just looks like a really basic, like, cartoon car park. Is it like a semicircle? I feel like there's a semicircle and then like a road leading in. I could just be making that up though. Yeah, I think that's right. It might be a bit too small, but That's okay. And then we can just add in a couple of parking spots. I don't think there's a drive-through. I feel like I'd remember if there was a drive-through. I don't think there is. But let's just add in some really small parking spots. So kind of like that, I think. I definitely should have made the car park bigger. The cars in SpongeBob are like boat cars, I think. So I might just try and really quickly just build one in one of the parking spots just over here. I can't even build regular boats, so I'm not expecting this to look good, but I want to just showcase that this is a parking area. So we need at least one boat in it, and I think that's okay. And then what I do want to add as well is just, I think there's a pole here, right? With like a pail on the top, or like a clam, something like that. Let's just see what it looks like. And I assume it would be over here, the pole. And then we can just add the shell. It's gonna be difficult to get right. Shaping. Okay, I think that looks fine. I'm not good with like organics and like shells and stuff. Like building that I can never do anyway. I don't think there's anything in it. I don't think it says Krusty Krab or anything. I think this looks pretty correct. But I just want to really quickly around the side add some trash cans. I don't know. I remember there being an episode where they build like a Krusty Land or something like that, or like a Krusty Krab theme park. And I remember the side having dumpster bags like these. I don't know if it's around here or around the back, but I'm just going to put them over here. And then also I'm going to just really quickly finish up with some coral. And this time, so that it doesn't dry up, I'm going to use some sand and some water. Let's do, I think if I do this, then it won't die. I think. Let's just have a look and see if it dies. I think we're good. I don't think it's going to die. But if they die out, then at least I tried. But I think that should keep it alive. And I'll add some in the car park as well. Just over here. And that just, I feel like the coral just makes it look more like SpongeBob-y just by itself. But all of this colored coral has made me realize I'm pretty sure there should be some bunting along the front as well. I might be wrong, but I think there's like some flags. I'm pretty sure. Kind of like that maybe? I feel like there's too much going on at the front though, but I think, I'm pretty sure it's there though, so I need to add it. And then I'm gonna just add some flags. And then finally, I think I'm just gonna make the shape a bit more prominent. I feel like it's a bit flat right now, but I feel like I should just bring out some of the edges a bit more, just to make it more cartoony, kind of like this. So let's really quickly just do this on the whole thing. I'm really starting to question the roof. I feel like the netting shouldn't be up here, but I'm gonna leave it there just in case. I think it might be, but I might be wrong. That's kind of risky. But I'm gonna leave it there. And then let's just make the corners a bit more prominent. And we can probably make the front door stand out a bit more as well, just like this. But with that, we've literally got like a minute left, so I'm gonna call it there, I think, because I don't know what else I can add. It's looking a bit crowded, so I don't know if I got it right, but I'm feeling somewhat confident about it. So let's Google what the actual thing looks like. Okay, I did a lot worse than I thought I did. I think you could tell what it is at least. I think with all of these, you can tell what they're meant to be, which is a win in my books, but I definitely messed up, especially the roof and the front, the netting. But yeah, there's no netting here, and there's definitely no netting on the roof. It should just be spruce, which I kind of like it like this, to be fair. But yeah, it's not very correct. I'm happy I got the flags right, but there should be a chimney in the middle. So there is a chimney, which I wish I remembered. And there's like a small wind turbine up here, which I'm sad I forgot because I think that would have transformed it a lot. And then I was right about up here, but there's like storage, like pipes and stuff, and like barrels, which I definitely should have realized. I should have added some barrels up here. But all in all, I'd say that we did a pretty good job. Looking at images, I could definitely have built something a lot better. But just going off memory, I don't think that this is too bad, honestly. I think that this is the best out of the three. So please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100K by the end of the year. Goodbye.